So I was watching G4's Top 100 Video Games. I recorded it because I don't have the time to just watch it when it comes on. Anyway, I wasn't surprised by the fact, but it just reminds me of how we do not have anything more than the most saturated, most corporatized, shill entertainment available. I mean, let's face it. You know how many video games there are ever created? And out of those, the top 100, I expect to see things that were innovative, creative, interesting, or at least extremely popular, but within at least 10 years ago. Not something released last month. I would say Halo Combat Evolved deserves to be on the top 100 list, because it was a huge success. Very popular, not a half bad game. That's coming from somebody that hates all corporatized media, and Halo Combat Evolved was a pretty fucking good game. And at that, I had it on PC, which they took the teeth out of it because Bill Gates was butthurt that Microsoft was selling Halo both to PC and to Xbox market when they wanted Halo to be an exclusive to Xbox. So, essentially, Bungie was acting in the right, but Microsoft got the best of them. My point is that that deserves to be on the top 100. And that game was released something like 15 years ago, maybe not that long ago, but it's been a while. However, in the same episode of Top 100, Gears of War 3 and Assassin's Creed 2 are both on the list. Those games were released within the year. There is no fucking way that you're going to put those on the top 100. You can't even predict if whether or not those are going to sell as well as you would wanted them to. How the hell are you going to claim that they're the top 100 games of all time? That just shows how much of a sellout you are. That G4 is nothing more than a bunch of classy, refined prostitutes, and it makes me sick. Another one that got my ass was Psychonauts. Everyone loves to claim Psychonauts was this underground video game that didn't do too well, but yet everybody's heard of it. How convenient. This game is so underground, so out there, man. But meanwhile, every fucking gamer has either played or at least heard of Psychonauts. You know what this proves? Even in the gaming community, there's fucking hipsters. In fact, there's more hipsters amongst gamers than in any other medium. At least music hipsters listen to crap nobody's heard of, even if it sucks. At least it is indeed underground. But the shit gamers claim that nobody's heard of, I got news for you. Even the most casual of game players have probably heard of it at some point, just never taken the time to actually play it. Guess what? Psychonauts might sound like a good game in theory, but I bet in practice, it's a piece of shit. And that's probably why it didn't sell well. Not because it wasn't backed by big company names, not because, let's face it, it had the Invader Zim voice actor. That should have done well right there, as it was at the peak of cartoon hysteria, where you had good cartoons like Invader Zim and Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy and shit. So it should have done well, but yet it didn't. Why? Well, because it wasn't a Mario game, it wasn't any kind of brand name sequel, and because it probably just sucked. So what I'm getting at here is how there's nothing to look forward to in gaming. I don't even know why I bother watching E3 anymore. It's just going to get consecutively worse every single year. That's my prediction. You don't need any stock portfolios, no market guys, no professionals. E3 is going to get worse every single year, and you're going to continue to buy their stupid shit, no matter how ridiculous or retarded or expensive it is. There is nothing original about what the gamer community has come out with. No matter if you're the PC Master Race, no matter if you're Sony or Microsoft or Nintendo, it doesn't fucking matter. It all sucks. It's all either repetitive or just something they made 10 years ago and it didn't do very well. The entire idea of the Wii remote is just a rendition of the Power Glove. and the fact that they mastered the technology where the Power Glove actually functions, but even then, it's not that great. It's not that spectacular. It's just fucking motion sensor. I don't buy a game to get motion sensor. I buy a game for substance. I buy a game for interesting content. I buy a game to entertain me. I put an investment in that game to entertain me for at least a couple of months because games are fucking expensive. I am not made of money. So for me, $60, hell, even $30 for a used game at GameStop is quite a bit of investment, and I expect that game to last me at least 2 or 3 months worth of entertaining content. That is the minimum. And a lot of games just can't live up to that. What does that say about our industry when you cannot get at least 2 or 3 months worth of entertainment out of a video game, regardless of the video game? And the top 100 list just further exemplifies that. The fact is, there were some games that were interesting or thought-provoking, such as Prince of Persia with the backward time game mechanic, that to this day we still don't see other than in Prince of Persia. NBA Jam was mentioned, and I would have mentioned that. I played NBA Jam. It wasn't very good, but it did open up a new genre of sports. It kind of reminds me of Blitz. Blitz was the way NBA Jam should have been. Blitz was about football, or to Europeans, rugby, I believe. Yeah. So it's about football, and the football's on fire, your players are on fire, you can beat the shit out of each other. That's fun. It's football, but actually interesting. And the fact is that NBA Jam just had the basketball on fire, and you did some ninja moves where you would jump around and shit. And basketball is just not as interesting as football. So, combined with the fact that you could actually beat the shit out of the other player, and the fact that you had more teams and more things and entertainment. To be fair, Blitz was on the N64, NBA Jam was on the Sega Genesis. That is like a 5-6 year gap, and the technology is going to be better. But the fact is, I would have put Blitz on the list before NBA Jam. But I'm not surprised NBA Jam was on the list because, in fact, it opened those doors for that kind of gameplay. And you know what? I don't see that kind of gameplay anymore. I don't see sports games that incorporate you being able to go Super Saiyan and just beat the living hell out of the other team. Why not? The only place I can find games like that is Mario games. Mario Kart, Mario Tennis, Mario Baseball, Mario Masturbation, Mario fucking Mario. Mario holds a monopoly on sports games now. What the fuck? It's either Mario or some bullshit EA made that's supposed to be realistic. I don't want realism. If I wanted realism, I'd get some friends together and go play football outside. It would do me some exercise. I could socialize with my friends, have bragging rights when I kick their ass, and then we all go for a smoke afterward. That would be more fun and much cheaper than paying for a fucking game that is all about realism and has sweaty, bald men with rippling muscles that I'm never gonna have up in my face. So, that is my assessment of the top 100 video games. I don't even need to go into detail about the other games because you know how it's going to be. You know for every one game that actually deserves to be on the list, there's going to be 2 games that does not. There's going to be 2 games that released just like 5 years ago, if that only got on there because they sell well. Because just the mention of them brings in revenue for G4. If G4 goes 1 minute without mentioning Gears of War or Assassin's Creed or Prototype or all those other bullshit games, they lose money. I bet that they are so in bed with the corporate elite of gaming that they may as well just make a half-an-hour show of everyone on G4 sucking the dicks of corporate executives. It's that bad. It's that bad where they're such sellouts that it makes Nickelodeon look rebellious in comparison. And I wanted to give Nickelodeon a mention here because on the top 100 is Jack Black. He's one of the commentators. and you know something is a shill when Jack Black is on it. Now, mind you, Jack Black is a funny guy. He's talented. He makes decent music, but he's a shill. He's a sellout. And how much money are these fucking people making to sell out like this? You know what pisses me off about Jack Black, and by extension that whole thing, is the fact that these guys try to make themselves out to be cool and edgy and shit like that, and then they're on fucking Nickelodeon. I'll put it to you another way. Nickelodeon canceled Invader Zim because it was too grimdark. And at that, the writer was really working hard not to, offend them. This would be like me writing a cartoon, and Nickelodeon's always down my throat because it's always crossing the line. But meanwhile, Nickelodeon will have guest stars like Jack Black, or Sarah Silverman, or Chris Rock. Like, people don't know what those assholes talk about. Like, people don't know when Sarah Silverman had her show on Comedy Central where she was sucking the dick of an aborted fetus. Or how Jack Black makes rock songs about smoking crack and worshiping Satan. Or Chris Rock says nigger every other sentence. Like, people don't fucking know this. Do you think people are stupid? And then you're gonna get pissed off at the Invader Zim writer because his humor's a little darker and his artwork's a little more refined and grimoire and shit like that. No, you have no leverage whatsoever to judge writers or cartoonists or anything else when you're having fucking the likes of Sarah Silverman, Chris Rock, and Jack Black all over your television set. And at that, how are these guys gonna claim to be all edgy and blah blah blah, and then be on fucking Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards? Really? So it's all just regurgitated puke. Everything is just a walking turd. And if you don't see that, you're fucking dumb. You're blinded by all the consumerism. You apparently taking in too much of the aspartame or fluoride in the water or whatever, and you're just fucking out of your mind. You're just drugged out, stupid, and you love it. You love being retarded, you're willfully ignorant, and you don't care. You don't care that your life is a waste. You don't care that you're gonna die and nobody's gonna remember you. You don't care that you work day in and day out for bullshit and more bullshit. And not only do you work your fucking ass off, but then they expect you to pay for it too. Because it's not enough the fact that you work every day. No, you have to work to make a little bit of money to then ration between all your needs and desires. Because, work 10 hours a fucking day, and then I have to ration between bread, board, water, hygiene, entertainment, and all my other basic human essentials so I don't go crazy or die. That is your life. That is my life. That is everybody's life. The only difference is, I'm willing to talk about it. I'm willing to admit that my life sucks, that your life sucks, that everybody's life sucks, except for the likes of Donald Trump and Bill Gates. But then guys like Mr. Rep Zion say they're so much better than other people. They're morally and intellectually superior because they walked all over the masses like us to get where they are. They lied, cheated, steal, possibly even murdered to get where they are and be able to live on top of this big shit heap all by themselves with a big crown on their fucking heads. And they get to command all of us little whelps at the bottom. But they're superior to us. Maybe physically, but surely not morally. And if there is a God, he will smite them. And I will laugh. So, I guess